Hello and welcome to the Robbies Podcast, your destination for in-depth discussion and analysis of the Premier League. I'm Robbie Mustoe, he's Robbie Earle, and here are today's topics. In a frantic and frenetic ending, Man City barely squeak out a 2-1 win over Liverpool in one of the matches of the season so far. Thomas Frank called Cristian Romero's red card the perfect storm after a tumultuous week as Spurs suffer a 2-0 loss to Manchester United at a roaring Old Trafford. And Arsenal soared to a 3-0 win against Sunderland after key goals from Martin Zubimendi and Viktor Gyokeres. That's what we've got coming up in today's episode.
Well, it's a special episode, mate, because it's the two Robbies in one place. We're in Santa Clara. We're a few miles away from the Levi Stadium.
Lovely and warm, sun shining.
A bit of sunshine, ahead of the big game this afternoon. I know you're into your
little bit.
NFL a little bit, and I know you've got a stat that you've told me probably a million times already this weekend. But what happens if the New England Patriots
Well, it's kind of a
today?
big stat, isn't it? It's kind of a big stat. If the Patriots win, if they win today, the Pats, that will be 7 NFL titles, more than any other team. So I guess at some point the discussion will be with our guys, is this the best team or the best franchise in NFL history? And it's got to be a yes on that, isn't it?
So in Premier League terms, which we're probably saying
Man United ahead. Are they ahead of Liverpool's tight?
I think United got all the titles, yeah.
But this puts the New England Patriots ahead of everybody else.
Okay.
And kind of soon after the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick era, they're there again. So this franchise, they're doing something right. But apparently they're not favourites, are they?
Talk to me about quarterback. So we got Drake May.
May, the youngster.
The Patriots, the youngster.
Yeah.
A bit of a rookie, they believe. Like he's come in.
He's done remarkably well
to this point, but just gone up a little bit in the playoffs.
We were speaking to Chris Sims and a few of the NFL guys for us, and he's been outstanding. But in the playoff run, the last few games, he ain't been particularly brilliant. He's been a little shaky. Okay. So there may be a sense that this game could be very big for him. I don't know.
Well, Sam Donaldson, they call him
about him,
a journeyman, not been a star anywhere. This is his big
like
moment.
us as footballers. We're journeymen.
By the way, we're getting into this NFL thing.
I don't mind it.
We could send this to our bosses. A bit of Sunday night football.
We can do a little segment. 2 Robbies on NFL.
2 Robbies on NFL. There's a future. Let's talk about our football. Real football at Anfield. Liverpool hosting Manchester City.
I hope the Super Bowl's as good a finish as this, by the way.
No great first half, but second half we had all the drama. Liverpool with a super goal. Bernardo Silva, the little diamond, comes up with an equaliser. Earle Haaland gets his first goal at Anfield in 4 attempts as a Manchester City player. And then we get the drama in the end of the Szoboszlai, Haaland tussle. Was the ball red card advantages played.
Yeah.
Let's start with
an amazing free kick.
Free kick, again from Dominic Szoboszlai. We saw one at Arsenal. But this one was a little bit different.
I thought it was a little different. I'm not sure I've seen a good... I mean, the knuckleball is what most players are going for now, right? Where there's no real spin on it and it kind of moves around a little bit and it's hard to save. This was a swerving knuckleball. And I don't know whether he's seen that. I mean, there's been a few, I think.
Yeah, Roberto Carlos back in the day. Ronaldo had a sort of style,
he had
but it was a bit straighter, wasn't it?
It's a bit straighter. Szoboszlai deliberately hit kind of the left panel of the ball, the left half of the ball, and it still had the knuckle, but it had this swerve to the right. I mean, Donnarumma, who's a magnificent goalkeeper, it was an incredible free kick.
Is it anything to do with the ball? I mean, there's a Puma ball now that's the new official ball of the Premier League. Might it be the way that it's made?
I think the players are enjoying this ball. We've seen a lot of strikes from outside the box. We've seen this advent of Morgan Rogers, the dippy, he called it. The same thing where you can try and impart very little spin so the ball moves through the air a little bit unpredictably. But just to add the swerve, I thought was stunning. Brilliant goal. When you got a goalkeeper as good as him, just standing there like, wow, it was kind of coming towards me, and then it swerved into the corner. Brilliant.
I thought it was quite telling, Bernardo Silva getting the equaliser, mate. He's my little diamond. I'd probably get him 100 player every week. Yeah. He gets a goal, apparently runs and gets the ball, tells Earle Haaland then, we're not celebrating, get the ball down, we're going for the win, which they ended up getting with the penalty kick. I think we both kind of feel as though it was a foul by Alisson on Nunes.
I think nowadays you've got to be careful. This is something different from 3 or 4 years ago where goalkeepers had a little license to have a little contact. They're diving. Maybe the momentum takes them into place. Not anymore. Yeah. If you don't get good contact on the ball and you go through the player, that's a penalty. And I think the player should know that. Alisson should know it's a mistake from him. And the ball's placed on the spot and Earle Haaland makes it 2-1. And that was late, by the way. That was 90
plus 3 minutes. Yeah. And we got some more drama before then. But I want to sort of steer you to Actually, one of the saves of the season, mate, for me, with Alexis McAllister volleys a ball from 18, 20 yards that when you see from behind is headed at full speed to the top corner of the goal. And Donnarumma somehow gets that big body over there, that big claw hand, and palms it away. And it's, again, that possibly saved Manchester City a draw at that point. It would have been points dropped.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, the ball's behind him. Yeah. It felt like the ball was behind him. He still managed to claw it back. Good point you make there, because my underappreciated performer is Gigi Donnarumma. Now, I know he's a world-class goalkeeper, and I know his history, and I know what he's won with PSG. But do we think, I mean, I feel like there's not a lot of talk about him. I know Edison was good, and I know they've signed other players that are bit, maybe more headliney, but he's an incredible goalkeeper. It's an unbelievable signing. He's made so many of those type of saves, Rob.
Isn't the current problem with goalkeepers that we kind of look like? Size, how he defends, does he dive? Is he good with his feet? He does all that,
but he's not
great with his feet. So does that take away from, like, maybe him being best in the world?
Well,
the way that modern football is, and everybody
maybe,
to play out
and there might be others out there that could argue different goalkeepers in terms of filling the blimming goal and his wingspan and his ability to.
It's almost got to be perfect to get past the guy.
Like the free kick, like the crazy free kick.
It's got to be something like that. But that save was important, and then we got the big moment where Alisson's up in the attacking half
to try and get something for Liverpool.
Trying to get for Liverpool.
Yeah.
City win possession, get it to Cherky who's in his own half. He hits a ball with enough pace that it's getting towards a goal. And then there's this kind of foot race between Erling Haaland and Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai pulls back Erling Haaland.
Because Haaland's too fast.
Just too fast. And is about to get the ball and roll it into the empty net.
He pulls him back to stop him doing that.
And then a minute later...
Not a minute, like three seconds later,
Haaland realises he isn't going to get the ball. Szoboszlai is going to get stop it. So he pulls Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai goes to ground, the ball goes in, and I think everybody in the stadium and all the players were almost going, "I'll just let that go."
One pull for another pull
is like, nah, one advantage and a disadvantage. Let it go.
But Mr. VAR has other Mr. VAR.
And the referees, in fairness, we have to. I didn't like it. I got to be admit, but also understand these rules, and we can't dip in and out of the rules as we see fit.
No, it's right, because if we go through it real quick, Haaland's going to get to the ball and score. He is pulled back deliberately. Correct. But then the referee's like, well, okay, like you get advantage here. It looks like you're going to score.
So
and then the ball wasn't going to reach the goal, and Szoboszlai was going to sprint and clear it off the line. Yeah. So Haaland then pulls him.
No advantage.
So that's a foul. So the advantage is no advantage. Yeah. So you do have to go back and say, okay, no advantage. It's a free kick because you denied an obvious goal scoring situation. So Szoboszlai gets a red card. Yeah. And there's no goal.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they get it right with that.
In the end, it did get it right. It was one of them where sometimes you think football common sense should allow us to do this, but I get these rules, and we can't sort of play the rules sometimes and not when it suits us.
It was right. They got it right.
They did in the end get it right. Yeah. Manchester City got it right, Rob, because they stayed in the title race, and you could see what that meant to the players, to Pep, to the atmosphere after it felt bigger than I thought it was going to be for City.
But is it going to make enough difference to improve this team?
Well, it's
because they looked at 1-0 down. We're writing headlines. This is it. Arsenal. They're going to get caught now, and then all of a sudden, little Bernardo Silva.
But doesn't what happened give you belief that it?
But do you all right? And so, do you trust that that's going to? Inspire Man City to go on a run, because they've got to go on an amazing run now.
Let me go to you made on air today. Ruben Dias got back on the pitch because who hadn't got a bit of a knock. I think it might have been a concussion, or they took him off for safety. To get Diaz and Gay back is a centre back pairing. Yeah, we improves them, Rob. Improves them at another level. Mark Gay quietly had another exceptional game back there.
Gvardiol, for me, is the important one to get back, because he can play left back. I ain't sure about Ryan Aït-Nouri as a left fullback, Rob.
Well,
I know you got Matheus Nunes.
O'Reilly's not always going to play midfield. Maybe Foden comes back in, or Cherky could start.
If we could write a really good Man City team now. Semenyo's a good signing too. Marmoush is fit now. Everything's kind of there for them to go on a run. But when you're watching them play, and I know there's a few more parts to come into that, but they still don't convince you that they're like, look at City.
They're still not the control. There's still a bit of carelessness, but they're Man City, Rob, and they've got what they've got, and they've got individuals who can have moments, and they've found a way today. Well, they didn't play particularly that well to get 3 points at Anfield, a place they don't usually do well.
So they're still in the race.
Correct.
On Wednesday they play Fulham at home, very winnable, and then
they could be
Thursday,
3 points by then.
Yeah,
by the time
3 points behind Arsenal, and Arsenal go to a very much informed Brentford.
Yeah,
away from home.
So we still have a race.
We still have a race. Yeah.
Still have a race.
What a game! What a finish! What incident! What some quality! That none of that was there in the first half, to be fair. And you see Pep on the sideline. Robbie looks like pretty down and out. And all of a sudden, they're still in it. So fair play to them.
Yeah.
Liverpool looked better in the second half. Again, disappointing for me in the first half. Liverpool, come on, don't be so passive.
Yeah. I don't know what that was about.
Maybe a little bit scared of that. They got a front four that's really exciting when you look at them. And they have been a little bit stretched at times, Liverpool. Maybe he's asking them to play a little bit more compact, and that stops their possession and attacking prowess a little bit. But second half is what we wanted all to see. And what a fun game. Really, really great. So well done, Man City. Still in it.
Yeah,
it's a big win.
Absolutely big win. Let's talk about the other Manchester team who can't stop winning. 4 wins and more. 4 for Manchester United under Michael Carrick. This was a home game against Tottenham, a Tottenham team that had come back well against Man City, second half of the game to draw 2-2. A Tottenham team that we know can carry dangers. We're still working out what Thomas Frank's trying to do with this team. But there was a couple of incidents, Rob, that changed the outcome of this one. I think we have to go to it first. It's a Cristian Romero red card. Yeah. It's for a foul as he comes in on Casemiro. And I'm afraid, unfortunately, we've seen this story before. It's Romero going in and then extending his foot and putting force into a tackle that he doesn't need to do.
But he knows what he's doing there, Rob, doesn't he? He knows what he's doing.
He's hurt the player. It's a definite red card. And it's his 6th red card for Spurs. His 9th of his career. As captain of his football club, I said he's let himself, he's let his teammates, he's let his manager down. Yeah. And listen, Cristian Romero is one of the best football centre-backs in the league.
Well, let me stop you there. Is he?
Yeah, he is. He is. If somebody could address
I see a super aggressive defender, right? And at times he makes these challenges and it looks good. But as a whole package, like, is he that good on the ball?
Yeah, he can play. I think he can play. He's a World Cup. I think he can play.
I'm just trying to get to a point like it. Is this over-aggressive nature is obviously a downside to him. Yeah, but is the rest of his game that good enough to that's the way he is? He's a bit aggressive. Sometimes goes over.
I'm not saying that. I don't know whether he's got a big future. I think in terms of a footballing centre-back, a modern footballing centre-back, he's in my top sort of.
I don't know if he is for me. I don't know if he is for me. Just on general. I mean, I love his aggression. But it goes over the top too many times, Rob. What's that, 9 red cards in his career or something?
Yeah. It has to be controlled. And, he'd obviously come out with the social media stuff where he had to go at the club for not spending money in the window.
And having nobody available to play. And now he's not available for 4 games.
4 games he misses, including the North London derby. He's got to be more responsible, Rob. And at some point, Thomas Frank is going to have to deal with that.
Well, let's follow on. Let's talk about that. Afterwards, Thomas Frank didn't really kind of fudged around it a little bit.
And from Thomas Frank's point of view, maybe he's thinking, I've got to keep everybody on side for the time being. He has to, at some point, come out, be the boss and say, that is unacceptable for my captain of my football club. And then let's see what the consequences are.
There's a feeling that Romero's wants out a little bit. So we'll see. But that was from Spurs' point of view. And I just feel for the travelling fans, And it's a big game, and they started all right, by the way.
But until then, they're very much.
There's nothing in it. There's nothing in the game.
I look at little Archie Gray, who's gone to that football club. He's a good footballer. He's got a good career ahead of him. He's playing it right back. He's probably out of position, and then Romero goes and does that just disrupts everything they've worked on. Yeah. And I think those are the kind of things that we've got to do.
Yeah. No, it's frustrating for them. Manchester United.
Yeah. Not frustrating.
Wow. And I know it's 10 men, but we've seen plenty of times teams struggle with that. I think the attacking intent of the team now is so different, and the balance is, even though it's one player different, but the 3 centre-backs, there's 2 centre-backs. Luke Shaw loves to get forward. Dallow's the same. You got Kobbie Mainoo linking things together really nicely. We've talked many, many times about that. And Michael Carrick continues to touch the heart, wasn't it? Lisandro Martinez said of some of these players, and they want to play for him, and he's making a very strong case and more evidence of what he can do with this team. Really, really great, mate. 2-0. And Bruno again on the 38th minute. Bruno Fernandes with a clever little finish with the outside of his leg, really, his shin, with a Diego Dallo. And a really nicely worked set piece to start.
Yeah, which actually, I just want to say that on the set piece that Michael Carrick after the game said, you give credit to Johnny Evans, who'd worked with the players on that.
Yeah.
A couple of interviews that I listened to yesterday after the game. There was two things that came out that the 2 or 3 players said, and that was trust. They said trust is what Michael Carrick's allowing them, and to make their own decisions. And so a little bit in the old regime, everything's really done strict. Rigid, just what you got to do there. Yeah. And it looks like players have, just by easing them up a little bit, are feeling a little bit more comfortable to play the way.
Quite honestly, and maybe cynically for me, I'm still waiting for some old Man United isms with this squad to rear their ugly head. I'm still waiting for Mainu to get caught out of position a little bit. I'm still waiting for Casemiro to be out the game. I'm still waiting for them defensively to be a little flimsy. They haven't done that right now. They're definitely more organised. They're definitely more compact. I ain't saying they're going to go and win every game to the end of the season, but it's so good for Man United fans to be able to have a smile, enjoy their blooming Saturday night and Sunday.
So it's part of why you're saying some of those things that we've seen in the past may come to the fore.
It can't all disappear, mate. No, it can't all disappear.
I agree, but it's part of that then when we'll find out about Carrick fixing those problems. That's when we'll...
or how the players going to react to that, and the sense around the squad, around the fans, because they're not going to win every game.
No, for sure.
But right now, I mean, Dallo loves life at the moment on the right side, coming in with his left foot.
Sure, I tell you what, if he continues to play like this, might find himself on a plane to the World Cup.
Yep. Bruno Fernandes loves being number 10.
Martinez has come back and been an absolute...
Yeah, we shouldn't forget the players that are back now, by the way, because and the ones that are away in the AFCON, the previous manager didn't have for a few weeks there. So no, the good story continues. It really does, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I like Michael Carrick. I know a lot of obviously people from Middlesbrough, where his previous job, and they liked his football. They liked what he did. He kind of ran out of steam a little bit at the end, but that's not always the manager. It depends what the club wants to do on the transfer market, and they continue to build and grow. So that's a fascinating story, Rob. And again, if these wins, majority of wins at the end of the season, he is a candidate. He is a serious candidate.
He's going to have momentum, and if he's got momentum in a club like Manchester United, you're not going to stop that.
And what might be a future underappreciated is Steve Holland. Steve Holland is number 2. That a great experience with Mourinho at Chelsea for 4, 5, 6 years. Was with England with Gareth Southgate. He knows his stuff, Steve Holland. And the 2 smart, calm thinkers have got a chance for me of being permanent coaches, but we'll see. There's a lot of games to be played.
Let's go to the Emirates. Let's go to Arsenal. Let's go to Arsenal hosting Sunderland. It's one of the tricky games in the Premier League now. So well if Sunderland have done. It was a 3-0 victory in the end for Arsenal. It probably wasn't. I didn't ever think it was smooth sailing. I know you were a little bit more impressed with me than maybe I was in terms of the performance. I thought they performed well. I didn't actually think they were going to lose. But I thought that Sunderland gave them the test that they had, and they came out on top. Zubimendi, who's another one.
Little diamond.
He's a Bernardo Silva diamond. Does all the stuff he needs to do in midfield.
Ilkay Gundogan type of underappreciated. Does all sorts of things in midfield.
With good things. And Gyokeres comes off the bench, gets a couple of goals. It'll do him some good. A 3-0 win, a great day. Mikel Arteta was particularly pleased, he said, in the way that his team went about it. And I just thought, Rob, as well, one of the things that stood out to me was, like, Gyokeres didn't play, comes off the bench, gets his goal. We've seen Havertz do that recently. We've seen Jesus do that. It's almost like every player's coming in and doing their part, whether it's I'm coming from the bench, I've got to do 15 or 20 minutes, or I'm starting like a Declan Rice and it's another 90-minute performance. It's like everybody's bought into what their success is going to be.
So you said there that you weren't maybe as impressed as me, but you've said everything of what's great about Arsenal.
Yeah.
They got forwards, Rob, that whether they start or come off the bench. Martinelli comes on and assists for Gyokeres, whether it's Jesus that starts. I mean, so they're doing that part of it. They're absolutely rock solid at the back. And everybody's fit at the back now. So defensively, they tick every box. We just talked about Zubimendi. We love Declan Rice. And Kai Havertz now as a midfield goal threat. They tick in every box.
I didn't think their football was as good as they can play. I thought they got the job done, and they
against a really tough, strong, defensively good Sunderland team.
Absolutely, totally. But maybe we just look at it a little bit differently in what we see.
Yeah, I thought it was incessant, strong, solid, focused, professional, gave nothing away. I thought I was as impressed with that as any game of Arsenal, given the opponents, given the pressure and are they going to fold a little bit? And, I don't know. I just thought it was a rock solid. And the squad, again, you see the strength of the squad. This is the best in the Premier League by some distance. So I thought that was impressive, that. Really strong.
But based on what we saw today, they're in a race. And
they still got.
If they can continue on all those.
There'll be some wrinkles.
Yeah.
There'll be wrinkles, and that 6 points might get a little lower. Yeah.
Okay, those were the big games. Let's go to some of the remaining results. Wolves 1, Chelsea 3. This was all about a Cole Palmer hat-trick, 2 penalties, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and then a lovely finish from a Gyokeres move.
They keep winning, Rob.
Yeah.
Liam Rosina, I mean...
It's a good habit,
I'll tell you what he has said, and he talked a lot in around getting the job right, and he did talk a lot about winning. We got to win now. I know I'm trying to build, I want to get but we got to win. Yeah. I'll ask you as a question. Has he got more of a winning focus than Enzo Maresca?
Yeah, way more.
Like, let's win now.
Yeah,
Enzo
Maresca's always talking the project and like we're building in this. This guy's almost saying we've got good enough players to do that, to be building and winning.
I want to win now.
And he's putting pressure on people to win. That mentality, and I love it.
Yeah, I like it too.
From the day he's walked into the place, he's pushing people, and he after the game, obviously, he's talked highly of Cole Palmer and he could be world class. But he talked about the other bits around him and the players, the Gyokeres and the Caicedos and the Enzos who are all playing their part.
Yeah. I mean, it's so important for any manager at a club to go in and do well. Yeah. Whether it's his sessions that he impresses the players with, whether it's his meetings, but ultimately it's the results. Yeah. And the players, if you're in the Chelsea dressing room, it's like, wow, this is
we want to win, don't we?
This guy
want to win
because a young guy comes in with swagger because he's got swagger.
Of course he has. Yeah.
The lads are like,
that job.
And wow, we're winning. Like it's fun, and his man management is very pally. Yeah. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Which. It's good, but there's got to be a harder side to him.
Yeah, I think he's smart enough. I think.
What about when he had to go at Arsenal in the cup about them coming into his half?
Yeah,
I kind of like that. You must like that.
Yeah, it was him just putting it out there that we're Chelsea. Don't
just a bit. If everyone didn't see that. So in the League Cup before the game, you go out and you do your warm up, and one half the field is one team, and Arsenal. So the Emirates were their warm-up went on to Chelsea's half, and he basically stood there and said, "What are you doing? Get in your own half." I liked it.
I also liked Mikel Arteta's response, by the way. It was just, we apologise if we don't. He didn't want to get into a spat, which I thought was really calm as well. But two young managers doing the thing. Good result for Chelsea. Let's go to Newcastle 2, Brentford 3. Really one of the performances of the weekend, Brentford again, Rob. There was no shot. He was suspended, got a red card last weekend. Yeah. They go to Newcastle. I know Newcastle not in the greatest form, but Botman scores to put Newcastle up. Janelt gets a header back. Thiago, 17 goals from him with a penalty kick. This was the right decision. Gyokeres gets a penalty back for Newcastle, and then Watara, Rob, with 5 minutes left of the game, goes up the other end of the pitch, smashes a ball through Nick Moe, and Brentford come away with 3-2 win. They beat them at home 3-1. They beat them away 3-2.
They've beaten Villa away. They beat Newcastle United away. Dango Watara, very close to mind, appreciated. I know he's a record signing for Brentford, but he's really, really good. He's 23 years of age, Rob. He's super quick, super pacey. We know the players at Brentford lost, and the fact where they are right now is one of the stories of the season. And I know this kind of changes, right? Yeah. I mean, during the season, teams are up there. Sunderland was the story, and we go mad on them. Yeah. Right now, with more games under their belt, Brentford are 7th, aren't they? They're 7th. Yeah. I mean, that's remarkable. European football for this football club is the same points as Liverpool.
Yeah. Are we at a place where reputation and all those things? Leon Messina went into Chelsea, and most people have already made their mind up. Keith Andrews got the Brentford job. Most people had already made their mind up. Are we in it? Michael Carrick to a certain degree. I think people, I think that the United thing helped Michael Carrick going in there, being an ex-player. But at times, are we a bit cynical of people going into jobs? I've got to admit, I think when Keith Andrews got the job, I was a little concerned. I've got to be honest.
Well, I think we have confirmation now that Brentford Football Club knows what it's doing.
Correct.
We know that the owner is a big stats guy, data guy. The recruitment is saying it. I mean, it's the reason why they are where they are. Is the recruitment's been top notch. Yeah. They get good players. They become really good players. They sell them for tons of money, and they get more good players coming in. Yeah. So for them to hire Keith Andrews, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they saw it in him. And he has a lovely way about him, Rob. Very calm. And he continues to push him, by the way. What was a quote I wrote down? He talked about, he said, I like the performance. We're calm and confident. Love that. Yeah. And also he said, we're not happy where we are.
Yeah, it can be better.
So I love the fact we're doing okay. I want to push us harder. So that's quite the story right now of Keith Andrews and Brentford Football Club and Newcastle United, Rob. And I felt quite strongly about this. And I said it on the air afterwards. And it's something I've mentioned before about them being an emotional team. Yeah. They're an emotional team. They play at their best when the emotions are high, when they're passionate, when the fans are behind them. They're using the fans now. It feels like the fans are like a drug that they need to play well. If it's not a crazy atmosphere, which isn't going to be every 2 or 3 days, their non-crazy intense football needs to improve. Because that state of their game, they don't look very good until they have a rally up. The fans get into them. And then they go flat out, and they look really good. But it didn't work today. In this game.
I heard Eddie Howe, and I think something that would have hurt him when he said, like, we're playing with tactical naivety, which is everything you would never say against an Eddie Howe team who they're well set up.
And it's kind of him to drill it into the lads. I mean, you made a good point with Joe Ellington missing in midfield. Yeah, he breaks things up. He's physical.
Physicality for all the footballers.
But they look a little open, Rob, defensively, they do, Newcastle.
And listen, not to paint a terrible picture of Newcastle, but obviously they need to do better. But are we in a position, Rob, where, there was noise this week about Tonali and his agent talking about he wants Champions League football and whether Arsenal did or didn't come in. We've heard it from Bruno. They've lost Isak. Might Newcastle end up being a club that, through the money that came in through the Saudis, we thought, like, this is a next step? Might that be a bit of a false dawn?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, the restrictions, the rules on financial spending is hurting them. Maybe Saudi owners have lost interest because of that. I don't know, mate. It's almost, I don't know. I know that the rules are changing a little bit. They're going to a squad ratio. Yeah. The amount you spend on your squad might somehow make it. They've got to increase their revenue somehow with legit sponsorships, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah, a bit of work for Eddie Howe to do on that one. Fulham 1, Everton 2. Fulham go ahead and Mikalenko own goal after the shot was parried out. Dewsbury Hall back in action, scores a goal to bring Everton level, and Leno with an own goal gives Everton a 2-1 win. David Moyes and his team getting the job done away from home. David Moyes was up in the stands, actually, with Seamus Coleman, wasn't he? Yeah. For yellow card accumulation.
Yeah, better for them. Brighton, the M23 derby we saw, Rob. Yeah. Brighton nil, Crystal Palace.
Being on the M23
It wasn't a great game. Fair play to Ismail Assar. Rob, he had a chance in the first half, didn't get a shot away. Got the all-important goal, and quite the celebration from Crystal Palace because they are big rivals. Yeah.
Strand Larson getting involved one day in the job, and he was all
massive celebration. He's loving life, and he's loving that move. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll watch that. We'll watch that
signing.
Yeah, and fair play to Palace. I know they've had disappointments and lost players. They got some options. Brennan Johnson, is out of favour a little bit, but I mean, Mateta's still there. Is going to come back, and Gessan come off the bench. A new signing on loan from Villa, assisted that winning goal. So yeah, I think they've had a decent window considering some of the players they've lost.
Yeah, good.
Relegation, mate.
Yeah, that was the other story really of this weekend, wasn't it? And let's start at Friday night, because let's go in chronological order. So Leeds United had Nottingham Forest at home on Friday night at Ellen Road. We were obviously doing the game, and Nottingham Forest didn't really turn up, my friend. Wow. Didn't come to grips with knowing that Leeds United on a Friday night was going to be a difficult game. And Bogle scores a goal running from one side of the pitch in behind the defence to put them up. Okafor gets another after a pass from James Justin. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin into the second half gets his 10th Premier League goal of the season. Brilliant moment for him. Absolute Leeds in control. I mean, Luka came on and got a little bit of a head. They had a little bit of a rally round, but we all know the situation. When you're 3-0 down, game's gone, then everybody can loosen up a little bit. But It was a huge night for Daniel Farke and his team. A massive disappointment for Sean Dyche.
We have a story brewing at the bottom of the table that's pretty interesting. We all know what happened with Nuno Espirito Santo at Nottingham Forest. Yeah. Big fallout, ended up leaving, got kicked out, whatever happened, fell out with the Edu, the sporting director, whatever happened there. Yeah. And now is little old West Ham United are right 3 points behind Nottingham Forest. Yeah. Wouldn't need a love. He would love that, wouldn't he? He'd love to beat them. I'd love it. If he could get that's quite the story as well. West Ham United finding form, Rob. They're finding form. They made good additions in the window. The two new lads up front. Yeah. Exal Dizazi, I think, is going to help them defensively because that's what their biggest weakness was for me, right in the heart of their defense. And they're on a little bit of a run. And Nottingham Forest, Sean Dyche, Rob. I mean, the theory is, kept Burnley out for so long. They kind of got worse and worse and worse though with it, and then we got relegated, not under him, but in that same time frame, I think. Is he a little bit of fake news, Sean Dyche?
Sean Dyche.
Well, I mean,
no, he's not. I would say not. I think we have to give him a bit more respect.
They had a boost initially.
Yeah, they did.
They're 3 points off the relegation zone, Rob.
Oh, they're in it. But I'd like to think he would know. What worries me more is his team's approach to a Friday night game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That worries me, mate.
There was no sense of this is a big game.
No. It was like, we're going to play Leeds and we'll be okay.
And he knows, Sean Dyche knows what it's like at Ellen Road.
Absolutely. That was a worry. Let's go to Burnley.
First off, just one more point on that. Nottingham Forest on Wednesday have got Wolves at home. If Nottingham Forest don't beat Wolves, Sean Dyche is going to be out. I'm telling you, Mr. Marinakis. They'll be looking for the fourth coach. Mr. Marinakis will not be having it. He won't because they're sliding. They're not moving at all. Watch out for that. Anyway, now move on.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. We'll go to Turf Moor. We'll go to Scotty Parker, who's having a bit of a tough time, but this was a big game, Rob. Burnley versus West Ham. West Ham, as you say, the other team in trouble. Burnley are down there, 15 points. Kind of looks like it's a struggle for them now. Goals coming from Somerville after 13 minutes. Just lovely little clip of the goalkeeper, Tati Castellanos, the player they brought in.
What a nice ball from a great cross.
Ball from Malik Diouf, who's very close to him. But I'm going to go to my underappreciated performer of the week.
Who is it? I don't know who it is.
And, well, I'm going to go, Rob, to a team. So I always think these 3 or 4 teams, Fulham, West Ham, we don't really see Wolves. We don't really see an awful lot of them. We don't really often talk about their players because we don't have enough time.
They're not the selected game by the TV companies to really analyse them.
Over time. Yeah. So the problem is when we do go to West Ham, we talk about Jared Bowen. We talk about Paquetá, who's packed his bags and gone. Yeah. We talk about Souček making runs and defence that's not particularly great, although we like Malik Diouf. We never talk about Crescencio Somerville, who's a young man who's coming. He's 24 years of age, I think, now. Was at Leeds United. He's coming to that football club.
He's had injury issues.
Issues, but when he's fit, can play anywhere across that front line, gives you a threat. Yeah. 5 goals in his last 5 games.
That's brilliant.
At this time. At a period when West Ham needed something, when Paquetá's playing up, when Bowen's gone a little cold, despite, he'll always give it his best effort. This kid's come along and got you goals and points, Rob. That might have a big bearing on you staying up.
I think it's a good shout because you look at that front 4 now with Pablo, Castellanos, the two strikers that run the socks off without the ball, by the way. You bring in those wide players you talked about, Somerville and Bowen. And you've got increased the back line. Yeah. I mean, they'll feel they can go on a run. So, Somerville, sharp as anything. Confident lad as well, didn't he? Yeah. Confident lad.
Dutch player. One Dutch, all the 16, 17, 21s. Not got the national team.
Yeah.
But, talented young man.
Well done, West Ham United having a run. A great time to have a run.
Absolutely, my friend. Well,
that's it, isn't it?
That's it. Drake May and Sam Donaldson.
Well, most people will be listening or watching this after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm going for the Patriots.
I'm going for the Seahawks.
And we'll see.
Yeah. And apologise for a bit of ambient noise to our listeners.
There's a lot of security. There's a lot of security around here.
Helicopters going back.
Nothing to do with the Super Bowl.
Got a helicopter going to the game.
Nothing to do with the Super Bowl. It's a 2 Robbies podcast.
I'm getting an Uber. Robbie Mustoe's getting a helicopter. But that's it for this weekend on Super Bowl Sunday, when I suppose it was touchdown for Manchester City as they get back in the title race, closing the gap on Arsenal. We'll look to see all the midweek games and give you a podcast after those this week. But for now, I'm Earle. He's Mustoe, together with the 2 Robbies. Thanks for watching and listening. Be safe. Stay healthy. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.